Hey, today we're going to talk about stay-at-home moms.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Tina and Anderson Show. It's been a while since we posted a video because I had to get a new laptop. It wasn't working. We had the old laptop, and a video kept getting chopped up. And because I'm not tech savvy, I spoke to a buddy of mine who is tech savvy, and I didn't have enough RAM on my old laptop. So I went and bought another laptop that has a lot more RAM. So this won't happen. And
We only recorded something, 3 times?
Yeah, I think it was three or two times.
Figured it
and
out.
then it came, and then when it came to editing, the video was all chopped up. We were like, it's because of the RAM.
I was so
This
mad.
is something I'm learning as I go. So now I know. So I got another laptop, and hope it works. It's not brand new. I ain't got that kind of money.
It doesn't matter. It works.
Right. So if you are still watching us and you didn't unsubscribe, I appreciate you guys, because we're so small in the YouTube world. When we don't post out any videos, people might just forget and just not come back, and whatever, But if you're still here and you're still interested in hearing what we have to say, we appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for here on out. We're gonna keep rolling out that content. So as you heard Tina saying before the intro, today we're going to talk about stay-at-home moms. But before we continue with that, make sure you check us out on Instagram and on TikTok. Yes. And subscribe now. Don't wait until the end of the video. That'll be great. All right. So Tina, you're a stay-at-home mom. How's it like? What is it like?
It's awesome, because I do have something to compare it to. I used to work full-time with 3 kids, very small children. I mean, what we had set up was so insane.
Yeah.
Like when I worked and we had to pay for before school care.
I remember that.
After school care.
I remember that.
Daycare for Maya.
Our youngest, for anybody who doesn't know.
Was absolutely insane. And I remember even my mom told me, like, you look like a ghost. Like, you don't, and then you start having like not so good physicals at the doctor, and you're like, what is going on with me? And it's just like what we had set up was absolutely like drilling me into the ground. So having that to compare to like, now I'm just a mom, I'm just a wife, that's all I have to focus on. I keep up with the house, I keep up with the schedule, I keep up with the kids' extracurriculars, the sports and practices and
I don't have to.
sleepovers, and he doesn't have to. But while I'm doing that, he's off working and on roofs and in basements and in attics, and I'd much rather be doing this. So
what happened? Like, how did you decide, or how did we decide? I'm just letting you tell the story. I know the story. Like how you became, what happened to make the decision for you to stay home? Like, tell that story.
There's like one story.
Well, you were at work.
Oh, that story. Where my job literally screwed me. That story.
Well, what happened? What happened for us to make, like, you called me, and then what? Okay, so
I don't know what you want me to. I didn't know you were going to be interviewing me. I don't know what you want me to say.
All right, I'll start it off, and then I'll let you finish, because you'll know what I'm talking about. So you were upset at work because of all these things transpired between you at work, and then something happened with me and the guy at work just because I asked a question about our kid, and you were crying and you called me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I had enough, basically. Like, trying, like I said, trying to keep all of that organized and, you know, keep up with the home. And it was totally normal to be eating dinner at 7, 8 o'clock at night because I got off work at 6. And to be doing all of this, and my life looks like this for a company that was treating me badly anyways, and making accusations on him that were absolutely ridiculous, just literally just because he asked one question. Okay. And then there was other incidences where I wasn't allowed to get my own kid off the bus. So they were supposed to be doing it, and they didn't get my kid off the bus. And this was Lana, our daughter, who has a disability. So it's like having to deal with all of this for, you know, for a company that is, they're not even treating me right. And what my life looked like because I was working, watching other people's kids. And I remember, because like I said, we had to use the after school program. And I remember one time I had to go like upstairs to go get some sort of a supply or something for our classroom. I was downstairs, and I go upstairs, and my daughter's sitting in the hallway. And I go, what's going on? Why are you in the hallway? Mom, I'm just really trying to do my homework, and it's really, really, really loud in there, and I can't do it. Now, this is supposed to be an after-school program where they are helping the children with their homework. This was literally what the program was. And it was so horribly run that it was mayhem inside the classroom. And I have my daughter sitting by herself in a chair in the hallway, all so I can work.
Right.
And watch other people's kids. Meanwhile, my child is upstairs being neglected. So there was a lot of things, and then there was one big thing, and I basically took my kids, took my belongings, and I stormed out. See you later. And I said, I can't do this anymore. You're not appreciated. And me having to structure my life like that and my children's life like that. Now, this is my children. Some of them, sometime it was before school program, school, and then after school program. So my poor kids were in school. Like, I don't even know. What time did the before school program start? Like 8?
That was early. We
7,
did that.
6?
I think we did that when we lived in Clinton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like their day was massively long.
Yeah.
And then to have to come home and they still have to do homework. I got to get dinner on the table. It didn't work for anybody. What happened?
I'm just plugging the computer.
It didn't work for anybody. And like I said, I was basically a walking zombie, you know. And then I know you were working nights at one point. We were like passing ships in the night. It was insane.
So
trying to figure it all out, and I'm watching it affect my kids. They're exhausted, you know. And then we have a child with a disability.
You stormed out, and then you called me.
I called you. I don't remember what I said when I called you. I'm supposed to remember what I said?
Oh, okay. I thought you did. Oh, that's all right.
No, but what did I say?
So you called me crying, and you said you wanted to quit. But you wanted me to be okay with it, and you wanted me to reassure you that we were going to be okay.
Yeah.
You wanted to hear that.
Yeah.
And I basically said we're going to be okay, but I said we're going to struggle because we were already living in low-income housing.
Yeah.
I was an apprentice in the field that I am now, so I wasn't making a whole ton of money. I think I was still in my first year, and I was making like what, $12 an hour, working night shift, right? And you were making pretty much the same, maybe a little bit more at the time, because I just started in this career. So you were in your field for a while, so I think you're probably making like $1 or $2 more than I was. So yeah, so we were making together like maybe like 20 something an hour with 3 kids. So we were already in low income housing, we were already on we were already on assistance, right? And we wanted to get out, and we finally did. Well, we own this house. But anyways, not to get off track. So you wanted to. Screen keeps going up. Just want to make sure.
Yeah, it says the signals like.
Okay.
I don't know if the cameras.
Sorry guys, I'm just freaking out because we just want to make sure it stays. It says it's recording. It's recording. Okay. We're just freaking out. We just want to make sure everything's still working. It's just my screen went black.
3 times we recorded something that basically didn't record. So.
All right, so I apologize. Let's get back on the story. So you wanted to hear the reassurance.
Yeah.
And I said yeah. I said obviously, because I'm not going to tell you. Hearing you cry, I'm not going to say no. Stay there. We need the money.
Yeah.
I knew we were on low income housing. We knew we were on assistance. So it would adjust to my income. We knew that, but we knew we weren't going to be there forever. And so I said, no, go home, quit. I'll work. And I said, but no. And then I said, but be ready, because we are going to struggle a little bit more. We are, even though our rent adjusted, we probably got a little bit more on food stamps, just we missed that income, so it was a little bit of a struggle. I said, we are going to struggle a little bit more. Just want to make sure you're going to be okay with that. And you said, yeah, because I know it's not going to be forever because of the career you're in.
Yeah.
So,
But it forced us to structure our life around one income.
Yeah.
No matter what the income was.
Yeah.
Because we're at 2 different levels now. Like we were at this level when I started staying home, and now because we both had the mindset of, I'm not going to sit here and be a stay-at-home mom, and we're just going to stay on the system.
Yeah,
we're just going to suck the system dry. And
that was never the plan for us.
Take it for all it's worth, and just stay on it forever. Like it was never, ever, ever the plan. It was a crutch because we were in a situation, and like he was saying, I'm a college graduate, and we weren't wealthy. Yeah. He worked more than 40 hours a week, and I worked 40 hours a week. We had 3 kids. I'm paying for the before school care, the after school care, the daycare for Maya. Nothing made sense. So, none of it did not make sense.
Right.
And we got like some sort of like assistance too for the daycare center.
Right.
For all of that, but it's like it's not enough for it to make sense.
Although we were grateful that we had, we
had help.
We lived in low income housing. It was actually nice. It was like a townhouse, not like a fancy one, just plain basic. We had a basement, which I thought was cool. We had a driveway. We're grateful for that. We're grateful for the food assistance and everything. We were grateful for that, but we hated being on it.
Yeah, we hated it.
We hated it. So, we worked our butts off, and I think about 4 years later, we bought this house.
Yeah.
I think after you quit, I think because I was into my first year, I think probably almost the end of my first year as an apprentice. Yeah, and then about almost 4 years later, we bought this house.
Yeah, because we knew that we had a plan that had a path.
Yeah.
We weren't like, oh, I'm going to quit my job and then we're just going to live here forever. and we're just gonna stay on the system. But we already had a plan. And we were like almost there.
Yeah.
You know, so it was like with everything that I was going through at work and my kids not being treated right, I'm not being treated right. And I think it's extremely important to trust the daycare or the center or the facility that you have your children in. And I'm sitting here working at this facility and I did not trust them with my children. I did not.
Yeah. So
we needed to change our situation drastically, but we both needed to be on the same page. And there was discussion, and we already knew that he was already on a path to be making better money. And, you know, it was a decision that we both thought, like, because we both find value in a stay-at-home mom, a stay-at-home wife. You know, he sees the value, I see the value. And, you know, and I went to college for the career that I was in. You know, like I've always felt bad that like my dad paid for that. You know?
But I think your dad.
I think my dad would have rathered me be a stay-at-home mom too. Because his wife was a stay-at-home. My mom was a stay-at-home mom.
Yeah.
So,
although you know we like you were saying, we saw the value. Although like we missed your income and we're on assistance. It was worth it. It's worth that for a while if it means your kids get to stay home. Yeah. So if your wife gets to stay home and take care of the kids, it is worth that sacrifice. A lot of people don't want to give up on that second income, which I understand, but I think the kids would be better for it. But let's get into these videos because I do have to pick up my daughter later, so we don't have a lot of time.
Yeah,
so
we don't have
let's get into these videos. So these are a bunch of stay-at-home moms, and we're gonna listen to the first one, and then we'll talk about it.
The majority of mothers around the globe have a job and they have to raise their kids, like a real job. So the ones that only do the mothering, that say that's their full-time job, that is privilege. That is a gift. That is a absolute luxury that you can do that.
Right.
It really is, to be able to say, oh, my full-time job is staying at home and taking care of my children. For people that are working a couple of jobs, they're looking at that woman going, but you don't know what having a full-time job is.
Absolutely.
Sorry for the cursing there, but yeah. So what's your thought?
I can't stand that lady. She is insufferable. I cannot stand her.
But what do you think about what she said about being a privilege? It's a privilege to stay at home.
Is that all you were paying attention to? Because she said a hell of a lot more right there.
But I know, but I wanted to ask you what you thought about that.
A privilege?
I just want to know what you think about that.
It being a privilege? You should have showed me this before, dude. That video went like this.
All right. Well, okay.
I know where she stands on this crap. She is not.
Okay, but talk about what you disagree then, what she said.
She said that stay-at-home mom is not a real job.
Right. So talk about that.
How is it not a real job then? If I drop my kids off to somebody who's doing exactly what I would be doing, I would have to pay them a lot of money. Daycares are like college tuition these days. Like daycares are extremely expensive. So it's a career if you get paid for it, but it's not a real job if I do it for my own
That's
kids.
what I was thinking that she was getting at, because you don't get paid for it.
Do you know who that is?
I have seen her. I just don't know her
They
name.
say she's like the face of the Democratic Party.
Well, I know, but I saw that video. I thought it was interesting. I wanted to see what I'm not saying I agree with her. I just thought
you better not.
I'm just saying, I just wanted to see what your thoughts are. Okay, so hearing that.
That it's a privilege and a luxury. We worked our butts off for me to be able to do this.
Yeah.
Like.
So I think she's probably thinking, Okay,
well, first off, I need you to understand she's dissing stay-at-home moms. You
I know,
understand
I know that.
right?
I know that.
Okay.
I know that. So I think what she's probably, she has tunnel vision. When she says like luxury, she's probably thinking the lawyer, the doc, people who make like, you know, $500,000-$600,000 a
Like,
year
the
that
kids-
can afford the
Yeah.
beautiful house.
The kids go to school and I just go shopping
that,
all
that
day
could afford
long.
the
Get
house
out of here.
afford the house cleaners and everything. So she's not thinking the middle class stay-at-home moms where we can't afford a big beautiful house. We got a great house, but it's not like massive, and we can't afford a house cleaner. But also, why would we get one? Our house is not so massive.
It's not huge.
You know,
and
we
that's,
just live in a ranch.
Literally why I'm home is so I can manage the home.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be home, not making the income, but then also paying somebody to come clean my house and keep it organized.
Yeah.
That's just not how I'm going to function. I'm going to find every single penny we can save. I'm going to find it. That's my job. That's basically how I contribute money. Is like, here, take this money back because I'm going to do it instead.
Right. Yeah,
Like,
I think these stay-at-home moms, you know, from men who you know, the 1% men, you know, career-wise, I think they have a pretty much luxurious life, and I'm sure they, you know, there are moms that spend a lot of time with their kids. You know, I'm not saying all women with all stay-at-home moms with wealthy husbands just sit back and eat bonbons all day. You know, I'm pretty sure there are some involved moms, but I think she has tunnel vision and she sees that. She's not seeing the middle class woman or even the lower class stay-at-home moms.
You
who are
don't know
grinding.
this woman at all. Have you ever seen
I've
videos
seen
of
her.
her?
I've seen her. I just didn't know her
She's a
name.
horrible woman.
All right, let's go to the next one.
She's a terrible
Because I think
woman.
this one triggered Tina a little
I'm
bit.
like, she's got something to say about stay-at-home moms.
Yeah.
She's got something to say, and it's I'm the privileged one.
Yeah.
How much money you make, lady?
All right, let's
Oh
go
my
on.
God.
Let's go on to the
Move
next one.
on.
Being a stay-at-home mom is a job. Being a stay-at-home wife is a job. Taking care of the house while your husband provides for you is a job. So when a woman stays at home while her husband provides for her and isn't working, she is working, and her husband is covering the cost of that work. When you pay a nanny to take care of your kids, when you drop your kids off at daycare and pay the daycare, when you pay a housekeeper or a house manager to take care of the house, that's considered work. All of the work that those people are doing is considered work. But when a woman who stays at home does it, it's not work. No, it very much is work, and it's hard work.
Period.
So for those of you that were only listening, it just showed up. Sorry guys, wrong button. It's been a while since I've done this. For those of you that were just listening to it and only heard the audio, it was just a TikTok video, and then the mother just doing regular household work around the house.
Mm-hmm.
That's what she was doing. But I put that video after on purpose,
Mm-hmm.
just so to see this is the clap back,
Mm-hmm.
you know, to the first video.
Like,
So yeah, I mean, but it is work. Look, it is work. Men, most husbands who appreciate their wives do appreciate the work they do because we know it's work. You know, cleaning up, cooking, you know, drop-offs, pickups and drop-offs. We understand it's work. You know, most husbands are not sitting here going, my wife's sitting home doing nothing. Like, no. Look, if your wife is, there's a problem. But
well, she's not holding
is,
up her end of the bargain.
yeah.
That's for sure.
No, it is
like
it
these
is
women
work.
who are like, oh, when my husband gets home, he can cook his own meal.
Yeah.
No, absolutely.
Then the
not.
husband should say, then you should pay your half of the mortgage.
Yeah, like how are you going to do that? Like, so like, I think like, you know, a lot of women would say, well, I work and I do what you do, you know, because like I'm home taking care, like women who work still take care of the house. But like there's a couple of things. I'm home, so I have the opportunity to do things that I would not be able to do or have the time to do if I was also working. If I was working, I would still be managing the home also. Obviously, we would have to split things more, and we would both be exhausted. But like, I make bread from scratch, like a lot, weekly almost. I make butter from scratch. I have a garden. I painted the house. You know what I'm saying? Like, I do things so we don't have to spend the money on it. He does the same thing though. Instead of hiring somebody to build something, he'll build it. If he can fix something on the car and not have to pay for it, he's gonna do it. Like, this is how, like, we also save money so I can stay home.
Yeah.
And so, you know, like, women that are like, well, you can still work and take care of the house.
Yeah,
like,
but I think a
do it.
woman who works can't do as much at home as you do. I think there are a lot of couples where they both work. They do hire a house cleaner because that's one thing off of their plate when they come home.
Yeah.
I think that's one thing off of their plate. You know, she might still come home and cook. Or if the husband is the cook, you'll probably still come home and cook. They'll do the groceries. They'll do the yard work on the weekends or maybe after work. But I think that, you know, they will probably compromise on that and probably pay a house cleaner.
But like, I also hear like a lot of women who have to work full time. They'll be the first to be like, well, I have to do it all. And why do I have to come home and cook? And how come I have to come home and do the cleaning? I work too. But then will dog on me because I choose to kind of make it easier on the both of us, where I'm home just doing those things. I'm not doing those things and trying to fit in a 40-hour-a-week job.
Right.
And you know, like, we also get that, like, not, I mean, but we just told you our backstory. We come from low-income housing, food stamps, the WIC program. Families had to sponsor our kids for Christmas. Like,
I remember that. We were a sponsored family.
We were a sponsored family, and we'll never forget it, you know, like, because we were not abusing it. We weren't taking advantage of it. Like, we needed it, and, you know, like, he was in school, and
we accepted the help while we were, you know, going through that season in our life. We never thought, oh, we deserve this.
Yeah,
we deserve all these people to do this for us. We weren't like that.
I just think that other people should pay for all of my stuff.
Yeah, we were never like that.
That's not.
I hate it. We hated.
No, we hated it. We hated being on the system. But, you know, like, that's how, you know, like, we'll do things ourselves to save money and not have to pay someone. But, like, I think it's insane. Like, yeah, like, if I drop my kids off at a nanny, that's a profession. But if I take care of my own kids, it's not work, and it's looked down on.
Yeah.
Believe me, I've heard it all. People think that I'm lazy because I choose to not work. Meanwhile, what I'm doing is work. And I get that a lot of moms work outside the home and then come home to the house and do the work at the house also. But that's we chose to not do it like that anymore.
Yeah, but let's say, you know, our you know, let's say we have a neighbor that is a mom that works, right? And you're both doing yard work or whatever, right? Who's going to get more done? You, cuz you're home.
Yeah, because I have the day.
Yeah.
I could literally say, like, today I'm spending the whole day outside. I'm going to do the leaves. I'm going to go look at the garden. I'm going to go, you know, like, I'm going to cut the grass, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. I mean, this is all stuff that he does, but if he's too overloaded, I have the day, and I can take the stuff that I was going to do and put it over here and be like, you know what? He hasn't been able to get to this week because he's been getting home at 8 o'clock at night. So, you know what? I'm going to go do leaf blow. I'm going to go do some leaf blowing, or I'm going to go mow the lawn so he doesn't have to do it on the whopping 2 days that he gets off, if he even gets those days off. You know, so, and he'll do the same for me. You know, like, he's going to go pick up our daughter, so I don't have to. Or if I'm
going down to the basement, can you bring that load down for me?
Right. Can you, there's one down there. Can you bring it up?
All right.
But, like, I think another thing I was going to say is that I understand that like not everybody can, have the opportunity to stay home. But if you look at our story, we basically didn't have the opportunity either, but we created it. He knew that in order for me to stay home, he needed to look into another career that made more money, because we both saw the value in a stay-at-home mom, a stay-at-home wife. He was willing to do that, to like look into, okay, what field can I get into where I'm going to make more money? I'm not the field I'm in now is not going to cut it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, these are things that we did. We set it up. It wasn't just like, oh, let's throw everything up in the air and see if it works.
Right.
Like we had a plan.
Right.
And yes, we needed the help at first, and we were very grateful to have the help. But we've been in our home for 10 years now, and we wouldn't, like, if he didn't make the choices that he made for our family, like we wouldn't even be in this house. So
there's a lot of lessons we've learned.
There's a lot of lessons.
Let's get into we got 3 more videos. We'll go through them quick because they are pretty quick anyways, and then we'll talk about it. All right, this one is a lot of information on this one, even though it's quick. A lot of information.
You're a stay-at-home mom, and you have to ask your spouse to send you money.
This one is not the one I was thinking, but we'll listen to this one. I think you're gonna find this one interesting.
If you're a stay-at-home mom and you have to ask your spouse to send you money for something, I'm worried for you, because that sounds like financial abuse to me. If you're a stay-at-home mom, please always have a backup plan. Have your own account, have your own money, keep yourself safe just in case. They might be the only one with an income, but they shouldn't be the only one with money. You should be able to fill up your tank whenever you need to. You should be able to take your kids out and get a treat, get some lunch if you ever need to. If you're on a budget, that's a whole different thing, but that doesn't mean that you shouldn't have access to money. You shouldn't be going without money just because you're not the one who makes it. You're in a partnership. You're married. You're partners. Partners equals.
All right, so
wrong.
So she was right on some stuff, but then wrong on some stuff.
No,
so
I mean, how do you see what she was saying?
Okay, so when she said you shouldn't have to ask your spouse for money, right? You shouldn't have to ask me for money because you have access to the bank account.
Because
we are one and we are married.
The same bank account.
Right, you have access to the bank account. That's what I'm saying.
That she should have her own money.
I know. So here's the thing. This is what I heard. I heard is if you have to ask your spouse, your husband, for money, that is financial abuse. Yes, I agree 100%. But her solution
to that
was to have you get your own bank account. When you're married, you're one. Same bank account, same bills, same everything, right? So she doesn't bring in income, but she has access. She has her own debit card. It's not like I lent her my debit card. She has her own debit card with her name on it. That's access to the same bank account. So she goes out grocery shopping. She goes. We already know what pretty much know what she's gonna spend anyways, because it's almost around the same amount. But like she never has to ask me, is it all right if I spend $250 on groceries this week?
No.
She just goes.
Well, but we also budget together.
Right.
You already know what I'm going to be spending on groceries for the week or for the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, so for her to say go get your own bank account, that can cause financial infidelity on both parts, not just her. Because you want to know what you're spending, because you're one. Your money should be together. And then what else was she was saying? Shoot, I forgot what she was saying, because we were just talking about.
Play it again.
We were talking about it so
You're
much that I forgot.
Mom, and you have to ask your spouse to.
No, what was she saying here?
Keep yourself safe just in case. They might be the only one.
Oh my God,
with an
honey.
income.
Okay. Yeah, having a backup plan as your account.
Oh yeah, that you basically you
majority.
Sorry guys.
Oh my god.
All right, so basically,
what is happening?
all right, so basically, we agree, having to ask your spouse for money, financial abuse, 100%.
Not okay.
Having two bank
Full
accounts,
access.
not
Full access.
Having two bank accounts, not a good solution. You need to talk to your spouse or to go through some type of therapy and being like, look, we are married, we are one. If
That's
you're
a trust
if
thing.
you're worried about, yeah, there is a trust. It is a trust
There's
thing.
a trust
If
thing.
you're
He
worried
doesn't
about
trust her.
yeah, if you're worried about what I'm gonna spend, let's sit together and let's do a budget. Because that way, and we'll stick to the budget. That way, you'll know what we're spending. All of us. She knows what he's spending, and he knows what she's spending, and you don't go over it. If that's a problem, if he still doesn't want to do that, then you got to go through some type of therapy because there's some deep-rooted issues that he has, and he's taking out these issues on you.
I mean,
and that's not good. But the solution is not your own bank account. But
No.
that's what feminists will tell you.
If you're married and you have little human beings together, you own a home together, you're literally doing your whole life together, but finances is where you stop.
Yeah.
And you want it completely separate.
Yeah.
You know, like whenever you start creating distance between you and your spouse, it creates opportunity for something else to fill that space.
Right.
You
Because
know, so
it's crazy because feminists will say get your own bank account as a
Yep.
backup plan, right?
why do you need a
For-
backup plan? To what? Leave your husband?
Right. So, but then there's the red pill. Will say my wife doesn't have to worry about anything. She doesn't worry about the bills. I pay the bills. She doesn't have to. She doesn't see it. The bills. She doesn't see what mortgage. And it's like, well, she should because you are one.
We should all.
And you both
Same
should know
page.
what's going in and out of the bank account, even if you're the only one making money. So the red pill will say that because to them, they think it's a flex. Like I can pay all the bills and she don't even have to worry about it. It's like a flex to them, but it's like she should know. She should know what's being spent because, it's because it's her money too. You marry somebody, the red pill will never want to. Red pill doesn't want anybody to know this because I think it's going to make men not want to get married. There's so many other things that makes men not want to get married. But anyways, but when you are married, if you're the only one that works, that's your wife's money too. It is.
Yep.
All right. If you
Period.
don't want her to leave with that money, divorce you and leave with your money, work on your marriage, fight for your marriage, right? And marry a woman that will do the same. All right, let's
She
go.
also hold on. She also said that you are equal and you are partners.
All right, so we are equal in value, but we're not.
We
the
are not
same.
equal. We are
We're
not the same.
I'm taller than her.
We
I'm heavier than
contribute
her.
differently.
I have facial hair. She don't. I'm stronger than her. I
mean, besides the physical stuff, though, honey,
yeah.
like
Well, we think
we contribute differently to
Right.
our marriage, and people that have been watching our podcast, you know that we believe in gender roles. So we equally contribute, but contribute differently.
Right.
Because he's a man and I'm a woman. He's the husband and I'm the wife.
Yeah,
so we are not equal, but we are of equal value.
Right.
And this is not my partner. This is my husband and this is my spouse.
Yeah.
That is it. A partner is somebody you do a business transaction with.
Right.
It literally devalues. It's putting like less value on like the title.
Right.
Like it's like an honor to be like your wife.
Yeah. Well, the husbands lead the family. I
Yeah,
mean, the
you're
wives.
the
The wives
lead.
don't.
Yeah.
You can't have both leaders.
You can't both lead because
Yeah.
you're gonna
You're
butt
butt
heads.
heads.
Yeah.
Try working somewhere where two bosses.
Or being part of a team where
Yeah.
there's two head coaches.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
think that would work out too well.
All right, so let's go on to the next one. The next one is really good. Here we go.
Let me tell you what I do to save money as a stay-at-home mom while I'm painting my toenails in the bathroom. So the number one thing I do to save money is I don't work and I make my husband go to work. Bye.
I thought that was a good one.
So numbers 1 through 10.
Pretty
I
simple.
stay home and he goes to work. The end.
Pretty simple. That's a pretty simple one. All right.
You know, I've seen those videos that are like the biggest flex a man can do is to make it possible for your wife to stay home.
Yeah.
And I firmly believe that.
It's crazy.
You're saving her from a lot of stress, traffic, workload. You know, like I've said, my focus is my home and my children and my family. That is my focus. I don't have to focus on anything else. He focuses on everything else.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like it's funny how like I've heard how people who make a lot more money than me when they're both working, they make a lot more money than me, and then they go, "Oh, you need 2 incomes."
You need 2 incomes. Yeah.
I was like, "You both make way more money than me." Like I'm the only we're making it work. Like what? It's crazy. So for example,
It's
right?
mindset.
For anybody that's watching us that is doesn't live in Massachusetts. We live in Massachusetts, right? The closer you get to Boston, the more expensive it is. Probably like that in any city. You know, if the closer you live to LA, the Southern California is probably way more expensive than Northern California. But anyways, so say if you worked and you made pretty much just as much as me, we'd be able to afford a home closer to Boston.
Yeah.
But let's just say you wanted to stay home. I would say, all right, this is what we're going to have to do. We're going to have to sell our home and we're going to have to buy a home further away from Boston because it's less
Further
expensive.
away from the city. Yeah.
It's less expensive.
Like we did.
But a lot of people don't want to make that sacrifice. They want to stay in the home and things like that. They don't want it to be like, look, we're going to have to sell our cars and still get some. Look, I work with guys who have beautiful trucks. I have a $5,000 pickup truck, which I love.
He does. He loves it.
I can go get a car loan
Yeah.
and get a nice truck, but we won't be able to do a lot of things that we want to do. Like
we save
vacations.
money in places so we can, you know, spend somewhere else
Right.
where we find more value.
Right.
you
So
know?
for us, even with my income, I do pretty well for myself. I just don't think a car loan is pretty much in our budget. To me, I would say I can't afford it.
Yeah.
I'd rather pay cash. To me, I try to say this is the thing I try to do it, and all aspects of my life might fail, but mostly I try to think if I can't pay for it cash, I can't afford it.
Right.
And one of the biggest things is cars.
Right. So,
All right.
like, I think, like, what he's trying to say is, like, so many people think that because the economy is the way it is and prices are the way they are, even though some of them are coming down, that there's no way that you can live off of one income. And we are literal proof that you can live off of one income. But we had to, everything that we do is based off of one income. So if we can't afford it, we don't do it. I mean, take for instance, moving here. I wanted to stay in the town that I grew up in, but the property taxes were way too expensive.
And the value of the home.
And the value, the homes we were going to end up with a piece of crap if we bought over there, probably in a horrible location. So you come a little bit more this way and the property tax is a little bit better. And, you know, there was more options in our price rate, you know, so I sacrificed not being able to stay in the town. And like our girls were already in the school system over there. So we were going to have to take them out of the school system, blah, blah, blah. I mean, fast forward, our youngest literally grew up in this town. She grew up in the entire school system and now she's going to be a senior next year.
Yeah.
You know, so like here I am panicking that like I'm going to have to pull my girls out of the school. They have an IEP. I have a daughter with a disability. I have to refigure all that out, go to all the meetings, blah, blah, blah. But like for us to stay there, I would have had to have gone back to work.
Yeah.
But we see the value in a stay-at-home mom. So we wanted to keep it that way. So the choices that we made in order to buy a house was built around that.
And we're blessed that we found a great house.
We are so blessed.
Found
we
a great
have a
house.
beautiful house in a beautiful neighborhood.
Yeah.
And, in a cute little town.
We can see the ski mountain in the winter.
Yeah, in the winter when the leaves fall off the trees, we can see the I'm like, look at us. We have a view.
Yeah. All right. So we got one more video, then we'll end it real quick.
Yeah,
it is no secret that living on one income in this economy is kind of difficult, but here are some things I do that make it a little bit more manageable for us. Number one is kind of basic, but I don't get my hair done, no nails, no fancy makeup for me. My sister cuts my hair for me now, and she does it for free, which is amazing. Do anything fancy beauty-wise. The second thing is I only fill up my car with gas once every other week, and if I have to start filling it up once a week, I just know that I need to stay home more and save on the gas. 3 is we both have used cars. My husband drives my old car from whenever I was a teenager, and whenever we found out we were pregnant, we bought a secondhand car we got it for $3,500, and it's a great car. I love it. Next thing is clothes. All of our clothes were thrifted. I have like a $50, $75 budget for my baby clothes for every season we're going. Thrifting all of our clothes. I haven't bought a new article of clothing in a hot minute. It's a season of waiting, and it's a season of patience, and it's a season of contentment, and that's okay. But there's just a few things that I do that help us save a little bit of money.
When I watched
on what I was saying
earlier. When I watched it, I was watching it again with a smile because I felt like a proud dad because she looks so young.
She looks so young, but she's so
like
smart.
Our daughter's age, and it just made me proud because I was like, if that was our daughter and these smart, and she was so happy to make these, and she looked like she lives in a nice place, right? And so content and happy, and she was so happy with her $3,500 car. People think you can't buy a nice car for like $4 or $5 grand. People are like, you can't get a nice car. We had a car for $5 grand. My truck was $5 grand.
Yeah, he still has it.
So 2013 Ford F-150. All right, don't at me at the comments, guys. But like, it's in great condition.
Yeah.
And then before the car you had, we had a Nissan Rogue that we bought for $5 grand.
Loved my Nissan.
Leather interior.
Heated seats.
Hardly any scratches. It was beautiful. What a sunroof. You can get a great car for $5 grand.
That. I would totally get a Nissan again.
Yeah, you could totally get a nice car for $5 grand.
Yeah.
If you budget, like I always say, our daughter bought a $15,000 car cash. So she pays herself a car payment. Right, easier for her than us because she doesn't have the bills we have. So like you can just pay yourself a car payment. But look, I want to talk more, but we can't. So we're gonna end it here, guys. We appreciate you guys for tuning in again. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. If you guys are watching, we really
still
appreciate
hanging
it.
around.
Yes. So we can't wait to crank out more videos for you guys and get this momentum back up. But make sure you follow us on Instagram and on TikTok. Don't forget to hit the notification bell and the like button. Please hit the like button and subscribe. All right. So we'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.